Dangerous Danny Davis, born Daniel Davis on March 28, 1956, in Newark, New Jersey, is a notable figure in the professional wrestling world. With a career that straddled the line between fairness and villainy, Davis's transformation from a respected WWF referee to a conniving in-ring heel captivated audiences and left an indelible mark on wrestling history. His story is one of controversy, reinvention, and a masterful ability to provoke emotions from fans. Whether he was officiating matches or stepping into the ring as Dangerous Danny Davis, he was a character fans loved to hate. Known for his scandalous officiating and his eventual alliance with some of the WWF's most notorious villains, Davis's career is a testament to the power of character work in the golden age of wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Thank you Ian Dawson 9606 for choosing to hear about Danny Davis. So don't forget to write your thought on who you want to see next. This one was chosen by one of the channel's subscribers and yours could be next. Just put it in the comments. I always read them and usually reply to them if there's a question asked or whatever. So come on everyone, don't be shy, let's get some balls rolling together. I remember Danny Davis when I was growing up but never liked him. When I was young I always cheered for the faces and hated most heels. Now it's reversed. Funny how things change. Before making his mark in the squared circle, Danny Davis's journey began in humble circumstances. Growing up in New Jersey, Davis developed a love for professional wrestling at a young age, inspired by the larger-than-life characters he saw on television. Determined to break into the industry, he sought training from local wrestling schools and honed his skills in smaller regional promotions. His initial goal was not to become a superstar but to contribute to the business he admired in any capacity. Davis's first significant role in the WWF was as a referee. He joined the organization in the early 1980s, during a period of rapid expansion under Vince McMahon. Known for his stern demeanor and quick decision-making, Davis became a familiar face officiating matches throughout the WWF. Danny Davis's transformation, through the infamous Dangerous Danny Davis, is one of the most memorable storylines of the 1980s WWF. For years, Davis served as a seemingly impartial referee. However, in late 1986 and early 1987, sharp-eyed fans began noticing questionable calls during high-stakes matches. Davis frequently ruled in favor of heel wrestlers, including prominent figures like the Hart Foundation. This pattern of biased officiating raised suspicions among fans and commentators alike. The storyline culminated when WWF President Jack Tunney officially stripped Davis of his refereeing duties in early 1987. He made the decision after a particularly controversial match in which Davis's actions blatantly affected the outcome. Rather than fading into obscurity, Davis embraced his newfound notoriety. Allying himself with manager Jimmy Hart, he rebranded as Dangerous Danny Davis and transitioned into an in-ring competitor. As a wrestler, Danny Davis portrayed a conniving and cowardly heel. His character was built around his controversial past as a referee, with opponents seeking to exact revenge for his prior misdeeds. Despite lacking the physique and technical prowess of many of his contemporaries, Davis's ability to draw heat from the audience made him a valuable mid-card performer. Davis's most notable in-ring appearances often involved tag team matches alongside the Hart Foundation Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. At WrestleMania 3 in 1987, Davis teamed with the Hart Foundation to face the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. The match highlighted Davis's cowardly persona, with the audience erupting in cheers whenever he was on the receiving end of punishment. The match ended with Davis securing a victory for his team, further cementing his role as a despised villain. Throughout the late 1980s, Davis continued to compete sporadically in singles and tag team matches. While he never achieved championship success, his character work and storytelling contributed to the era's vibrant wrestling landscape. His ability to incite audience reactions, whether through underhanded tactics or comedic cowardice, ensured his place on WWF programming. By the early 1990s, Davis's in-ring career began to wind down. He transitioned to behind-the-scenes roles within the WWF, including working as a trainer and helping to develop future talent. In addition to these roles, Davis co-founded Ohio Valley Wrestling, a promotion that became one of the most significant developmental territories for WWE. OVW was instrumental in training future superstars such as John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Batista, and Randy Orton. Davis's leadership and training programs at OVW cemented his legacy as a key contributor to the growth of professional wrestling talent in the modern era. His experience as both a referee and wrestler provided him with unique insights into the business, making him a valuable asset in nurturing the next generation of performers. Davis also made occasional appearances at wrestling conventions and nostalgic events, reconnecting with fans who remembered his controversial and entertaining career. In interviews, he often reflected on his time in the WWF, expressing gratitude for the opportunities he received and pride in his contributions to the industry. Despite not being a main event superstar, Dangerous Danny Davis left a lasting legacy in professional wrestling. His storyline as a corrupt referee-turned-wrestler remains a unique and memorable angle that showcased the importance of character work in wrestling. Davis's ability to blur the lines between fiction and reality captivated audiences and added depth to the WWF storytelling. Dangerous Danny Davis's career is a testament to the diverse roles within professional wrestling. While many fans focus on the larger-than-life superstars who dominate main events, characters like Davis play an equally important role in creating a compelling and dynamic product. His transition from referee to wrestler exemplifies the creative storytelling that defines professional wrestling, turning a supporting character into a central figure in one of the WWF's most talked-about storylines of the 1980s. Davis's work also highlights the importance of heat in wrestling with the ability to provoke emotional reactions from the audience. As a heel, Davis excelled in making fans despise him, whether through his biased officiating or his antics as a wrestler. This ability to draw heat not only elevated his own character but also enhanced the popularity of his babyface opponents. Dangerous Danny Davis may not have been the most physically imposing or technically skilled wrestler, but his contributions to professional wrestling are undeniable. Through his controversial storyline, memorable matches, and enduring character work, Davis carved out a unique niche in the industry. His career serves as a reminder that professional wrestling is as much about storytelling and character development as it is about athleticism. For fans who lived through the golden era of the 1980s WWF, the name Dangerous Danny Davis evokes memories of a time when the lines between good and evil were drawn clearly, and the thrill of watching wrestling was at its peak. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video. Professional wrestling is an industry defined by larger-than-life personalities, compelling stories, and unforgettable in-ring action. Few figures in the history of professional wrestling embody these traits as completely as Ric Flair. Known as the Nature Boy, Ric Flair is widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. His career, spanning over 5 decades, has left an indelible mark on the wrestling industry and popular culture at large. From his charismatic persona to his unmatched technical skills, Flair's influence transcends the squared circle, cementing his status as a living legend. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Ric Flair was born on February 25, 1949, in Memphis, Tennessee. Adopted as an infant, Flair's upbringing was marked by a sense of adventure and a desire for the spotlight. Athletic from an early age, Flair excelled in multiple sports during his high school years, including wrestling, football, and track. His natural charisma and physicality hinted at the superstar he would become. Flair's professional wrestling journey began in 1972 when he trained under Vern Gagne, one of wrestling's most respected trainers. The grueling regimen at Gagne's wrestling camp helped mold Flair to a disciplined and technically proficient performer. He debuted in the American Wrestling Association, where he began to develop his in-ring style and larger-than-life persona. Early in his career, Flair adopted the Nature Boy moniker, paying homage to Buddy Rogers, the original Nature Boy. This persona would become a cornerstone of his identity, characterized by arrogance, flamboyance, and a penchant for expensive suits and jewelry. In 1975, tragedy struck when Flair was involved in a devastating plane crash. The accident broke his back in 3 places, and doctors told him he would never wrestle again. However, Flair's resilience and determination proved otherwise. After months of rehabilitation, he made a miraculous return to the ring. The experience not only shaped his physical and mental toughness but also added a layer of authenticity to his persona. Fans saw Flair as a survivor, someone who overcame insurmountable odds to pursue his passion. The National Wrestling Alliance served as the launching pad for Ric Flair's ascent to wrestling greatness. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, Flair established himself as a top-tier performer. His technical prowess, combined with his ability to tell compelling stories in the ring, set him apart from his peers. Flair's matches were masterclasses in psychology, pacing, and athleticism. In 1981, Flair won his first NWA World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Dusty Rhodes. This victory marked the beginning of a legacy that would see Flair hold the title a record-setting 10 times during his tenure with the NWA. As champion, Flair traveled across the United States and around the world, defending the title against a wide array of challengers. His ability to adapt the style to suit different opponents and audiences showcased his versatility and cemented his reputation as the champion's champion. No discussion of Ric Flair's career would be complete without mentioning the Four Horsemen. Formed in 1985, the Four Horsemen was a revolutionary wrestling stable that included Flair, the Anderson brothers, and Tully Blanchard. With manager J.J. Dillon, the group epitomized dominance, their wealth, and power in portraying themselves as untouchable heels who lived a life of excess. The Four Horsemen were instrumental in elevating Flair's career to new heights. Their feuds with wrestling legends such as Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, and the Road Warriors produced some of the most memorable moments in wrestling history. The group's innovative use of storytelling, promos, and in-ring tactics influenced countless stables that followed, including D-Generation X and Evolution. When Jim Crockett Promotions was rebranded as World Championship Wrestling in the late 1980s, Ric Flair became the face of the organization. As WCW's top star, Flair continued to deliver iconic matches and feuds. His rivalry with Ricky Steamboat in 1989 is often cited as one of the greatest series of matches in wrestling history. The trilogy of matches between Flair and Steamboat showcased technical wrestling at its finest, with a focus on storytelling, athleticism, and emotional depth. Flair's tenure in WCW also saw him engage in legendary feuds with Sting, Lex Luger, and Terry Funk. Despite creative and managerial turmoil within the company, Flair remained a constant presence, elevating both the WCW brand and the wrestlers he worked with. His ability to reinvent himself and adapt to changing times ensured his continued relevance in an ever-evolving industry. In 1991, Ric Flair made a groundbreaking move by joining the World Wrestling Federation, and upon his arrival, Flair declared himself the real world champion, bringing the NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt with him. His entry into the WWF sparked feuds with top stars such as Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Bret Hart. Flair's WWE run included winning the 1992 Royal Rumble, which earned him the vacant WWF Championship. His victory in the Rumble is often hailed as one of the greatest performances in the event's history. Although his initial run with WWE was relatively short, Flair's impact was undeniable. He returned to WCW in 1993, where he continued to solidify his legacy. However, Flair's eventual return to WWE in the early 2000s allowed a new generation of fans to witness his greatness. His role as a mentor to younger talents, such as Triple H and Randy Orton, demonstrated his ability to evolve within the industry. Ric Flair's character was as much a part of his success as his wrestling ability. The Nature Boy persona exuded competence, extravagance, and swagger with his larger-than-life character. Flair's flamboyant robes, often adorned with sequins and feathers, added to his aura of grandeur. His in-ring style, a blend of technical wrestling and classic showmanship, ensured that fans were always entertained. Flair's ability to sell his opponents' moves and create drama in the ring made him a master storyteller. He elevated his opponents, making them look as formidable as he was, a trait that set him apart from many of his contemporaries. Despite his professional success, Ric Flair's personal life has been marked by challenges. Financial difficulties, failed marriages, and health scares have tested his resilience. In 2017, Flair faced a life-threatening medical emergency that left him hospitalized for weeks. True to form, Flair fought back and made a remarkable recovery, proving once again that he is a survivor. Flair's openness about his struggles has endeared him to fans, who see him as a flawed yet relatable figure. His ability to bounce back from adversity mirrors the resilience he displayed in his wrestling career, further solidifying his legendary status. Ric Flair's influence on professional wrestling is immeasurable. His contributions to the industry have inspired countless wrestlers, including some of today's biggest stars, such as his daughter Charlotte, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. Flair's ability to captivate audiences with his charisma and storytelling has set the standard for what it means to be a professional wrestler. Ric Flair's journey from a young athlete in Minnesota to a global wrestling icon is a testament to his talent, determination, and charisma. His contributions to professional wrestling have shaped the industry, influencing generations of performers and fans. Flair's legacy is one of resilience, showmanship, and excellence, making him a true legend in every sense of the word. Whether it was his classic matches, unforgettable promos, or enduring catchphrases, Ric Flair's impact on wrestling and popular culture is undeniable. Well, that's all we got time for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video. The crowd roars as a towering figure strides to the ring, his golden hair cascading like a lion's mane, a red and yellow ensemble blazing under the arena lights. His theme song, Real American, reverberates through the speakers, electrifying the atmosphere. This is Hulk Hogan, a name that transcends the boundaries of professional wrestling, etching itself into the annals of pop culture. For millions, he wasn't just a wrestler, he was a hero, a larger-than-life figure who symbolized strength, determination, and the quintessential American dream. But beyond the spotlight and the spectacle, the story of Hulk Hogan is a tapestry woven with triumphs, controversies, and an enduring legacy. It is the tale of a man who transcended the squared circle to become an icon of his era. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Born Terry Gene Bollea, August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia, Hogan grew up in Tampa, Florida. As a child, he had dreams of becoming a professional baseball player, but fate had other plans. Injuries derailed his baseball aspirations, and Hogan found himself gravitating toward music, becoming an accomplished bass guitarist. Yet, the allure of wrestling beckoned. Inspired by larger-than-life personalities like superstar Billy Graham, Hogan began training under Hiro Matsuda, a tough-as-nails wrestling coach known for breaking newcomers both physically and mentally. During his first session, Matsuda famously broke Hogan's leg to test his resilience. He returned to training after recovering, proving his mettle and setting the stage for his transformation into Hulk Hogan. Hogan's early wrestling career saw him performing in small territories, but his charisma and huge imposing frame quickly caught the attention of Vince McMahon Sr., who at the time was the patriarch of the World Wrestling Federation. It was McMahon Sr. who suggested the name Hulk after noticing his resemblance to the Marvel superhero. Paired with the surname Hogan to appeal to Irish-American fans, a legend was born. The true catalyst for Hulkamania came in 1984 when Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik to win his first WWF World Heavyweight Championship. The victory wasn't just a title change, it was the birth of a cultural phenomenon. Hogan's popularity soared, driven by his catchphrases like "What you're gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you," and his advice to fans to say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Under Vince McMahon Jr.'s vision, the WWF expanded nationally and internationally, with Hogan as its poster boy. Events like WrestleMania cemented Hogan's status as a megastar. His match against Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 in 1987 remains one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history. The sight of Hogan body slamming the 520-pound Andre before a crowd of over 93,000 fans is burnt into the collective memory of wrestling fans worldwide. But no Hulk Hogan video would be complete without showing you his most memorable feud with none other than Rusty Brooks. This was way before a straight-edge gimmick. Oh wait, wrong Brooks. This physical specimen of a man just blows my mind. I feared for Hogan with this one. It was all or nothing, but Hogan managed to clinch it after a grueling matchup with Brooks. Hogan's appeal wasn't confined to the wrestling ring. He ventured into Hollywood, starring in films like No Holds Barred and Suburban Commando, and appeared in TV shows and commercials. He became a brand unto himself, representing the pinnacle of what a wrestler could achieve in mainstream media. By the early 1990s, the wrestling landscape was changing. Fans began gravitating toward newer stars like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and Hogan's all-American hero persona started to feel dated. He left the WWF in 1993 and joined World Championship Wrestling in 1994, ushering in a new chapter of his career. However, the mid-1990s were tumultuous for Hogan. His squeaky clean image was increasingly at odds with the edgier, grittier wrestling product that fans desired. This led to one of the most shocking moments in wrestling history, Hulk Hogan's heel turn. In 1996, he formed the New World Order alongside Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, embracing the role of a villain and revitalizing his career. The NWO storyline propelled WCW to unprecedented heights, challenging the WWF in the infamous Monday Night Wars. The NWO storyline propelled WCW to unprecedented heights, challenging the WWF in the infamous Monday Night Wars. Yet, controversies loomed. Hogan faced criticism for his backstage politics, with accusations of using his influence to stifle younger talent. The early 2000s brought further challenges, including a high-profile lawsuit against Gawker over the release of a private video. Hogan filed a lawsuit against Gawker in 2013, alleging invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and violation of his rights. He claimed that the publication of the tape caused significant personal and professional harm. Hogan's legal team argued that, while he was a public figure, the intimate details of his private life were not fair game for public exposure. The trial took place in 2016 in Florida. Hogan's legal team framed the case as a violation of his right to privacy, contrasting his public persona with his private life. Gawker, on the other hand, defended their actions as protected under the First Amendment, claiming the tape was newsworthy and therefore a legitimate topic for public discussion. One key element of the trial was Hogan's argument that his privacy as Terry Bollea the individual should be respected, even though his larger-than-life wrestling persona Hulk Hogan was a public figure. Ultimately, Hulk Hogan won the lawsuit and was awarded something like $140 million. Yes, I've just looked up a couple of articles and it says $140 million. But then it says he settled before the end of the trial for $31 million. Wow, that's a life changer for sure. But anyways, back to Hulk Hogan. I got to admit it, but I myself as a child was a super huge massive Hulkamaniac. I remember sending him a get well soon card when Earthquake squashed all his ribs on the Brother Love show. Talk about marks. I was super stoked when I actually got a card back as a thank you, along with his signature. I was super pumped, running around and even taking Polaroids of it with friends. Everyone wanted one. It was a simpler time back then. Despite his controversies, Hogan's impact on professional wrestling is immeasurable. He revolutionized the industry, turning it from a niche form of entertainment into a global phenomenon. His larger-than-life persona inspired generations of wrestlers, from The Rock to John Cena, and his contributions to wrestling's golden era laid the foundation for the industry's modern success. Hogan's journey is a testament to the complexity of fame. He was a hero and a villain, both in the ring and in real life. His story is one of perseverance, reinvention, and the enduring power of spectacle. While his legacy is not without blemishes, his influence on pop culture and professional wrestling remains undeniable. Hulk Hogan's story is not just a tale of a wrestler. It's the chronicle of an icon who defined an era. From the thunderous cheers of WrestleMania 3 to the boos that accompanied his NWO transformation, Hogan's career is a roller coaster of highs and lows. Yet, through it all, the spirit of Hulkamania persists, a reminder of the magic that happens when charisma, talent, and determination converge. For fans young and old, the answer is simple: remember, celebrate, and let the legend of Hulk Hogan run wild forever. His journey illustrates the timeless allure of professional wrestling, a spectacle where heroes rise, villains fall, and legends are born. Whether inspiring kids in the 1980s to dream big or reminding modern audiences of wrestling's rich history, Hulk Hogan remains an enduring figure. His story, both triumphant and flawed, ensures that the flame of Hulkamania will never be extinguished, living on as an indelible part of wrestling's golden legacy. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video. In the world of professional wrestling, few names evoke as much reverence and intrigue as Sting. Known as the Icon, Sting has left an indelible mark on wrestling, carving a legacy that spans over 3 decades. His career embodies versatility, passion, and the ability to evolve alongside the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. From his early days as a bright, face-painted hero to his darker, Crow-inspired persona during wrestling's peak Monday Night Wars, Sting captured the imagination of fans worldwide. His career is marked not only by his in-ring ability but by his presence, in-match charisma, and his contributions to WCW, TNA, and eventually WWE. Join me as I explore the rise, evolution, and impact of Sting, one of wrestling's most enduring and iconic figures. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. Born as Steve Borden on March 20, 1959, in Omaha, Nebraska, Sting's journey into wrestling was not initially his dream. As a young athlete, Borden excelled in bodybuilding and found success in the fitness world. His entrance into professional wrestling came through a serendipitous opportunity when he partnered with Jim Hellwig, who would later known as the Ultimate Warrior. Together, they formed the Blade Runners, a tag team that appeared in the Universal Wrestling Federation. Though the team was short-lived, the experience gave Borden the tools to succeed in the ring. It was during his time in UWF that Steve Borden became Sting, a character who would eventually become synonymous with WCW. Sting's early persona was a vibrant, colorful character with bleached blonde hair and neon face paint, a perfect fit for wrestling in the late 1980s. He quickly became a fan favorite with his unmatched energy, power moves, and athleticism. His presence helped him stand out during a time when professional wrestling was dominated by larger-than-life personalities like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. Sting's big break came in 1988 when he signed with Jim Crockett Promotions, which would soon be rebranded as World Championship Wrestling. Sting's star-making moment occurred at the first Clash of the Champions, where he challenged Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a 45-minute time limit draw. Though Sting did not win the title, the match showcased his potential and established him as a future star. Flair, widely considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, helped elevate Sting by treating him as an equal in the ring. Throughout the early 1990s, Sting became WCW's top babyface, winning multiple titles, including the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. His colorful image, coupled with his high-flying moves and charisma, made him a hit with children and casual fans alike. Matches against top stars like Vader, Lex Luger, and Rick Rude solidified Sting as the face of WCW. Unlike other promotions that relied heavily on established WWE talent, WCW had Sting, a homegrown star who represented the promotion's identity and values. Sting's rivalry with Vader, in particular, demonstrated his versatility as a wrestler. The hard-hitting matches between the two showcased Sting's ability to adapt to opponents of varying styles. Whether battling technical wrestlers, powerhouses, or agile performers, Sting consistently delivered compelling performances. By the mid-1990s, WCW underwent a transformation that forever changed professional wrestling. The formation of the New World Order, led by Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, brought a dark, edgy tone to the product. The NWO storyline blurred the lines between reality and fiction, attracting older fans and catapulting WCW into ratings dominance over WWE. During this period, Sting underwent the most significant transformation of his career. Inspired by the 1994 film The Crow, Sting abandoned his colorful, happy-go-lucky persona and adopted a darker, brooding character. With long black hair, white face paint, and a black trench coat, Sting became a silent vigilante who lurked in the rafters, observing the chaos caused by the NWO. For over a year, Sting did not speak or wrestle, which only heightened his mystique. Fans eagerly anticipated Sting's eventual confrontation with the NWO, specifically Hollywood Hogan. The payoff came at Starrcade 1997, WCW's biggest event of the year, where Sting challenged Hogan for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The match was billed as the culmination of Sting's war against the NWO, and while its execution faced some controversy, the storyline itself remains one of wrestling's most iconic arcs. Sting's Crow persona became legendary and proved his ability to reinvent himself to stay relevant during wrestling's hottest era. When WCW was purchased by WWE in 2001, fans hoped to see Sting join WWE and face its top stars like The Undertaker, Triple H, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. However, Sting chose not to sign with WWE, citing concerns about how WCW stars were treated after the acquisition. Instead, he took a brief hiatus from wrestling before joining Total Nonstop Action Wrestling in 2003. Sting's presence in TNA gave the young promotion credibility. As a veteran performer, he elevated younger talent and participated in memorable feuds with stars like Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles. Sting's work in TNA showcased his longevity and passion for the industry. While other wrestlers of his era had retired, Sting continued to perform at a high level well into his 50s. Sting's loyalty to TNA and his refusal to join Vince McMahon's promotion further solidified his status as wrestling's ultimate outsider. And like many of his peers, Sting maintained an aura of mystery and integrity, which endeared him to fans who appreciated his principles. After years of speculation, Sting finally signed with WWE in 2014. His debut at that year's Survivor Series was met with a thunderous reaction as fans celebrated the arrival of one of wrestling's last holdouts. Sting's WWE run, while brief, included high-profile matches against Triple H at WrestleMania 31 and Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Unfortunately, Sting suffered a career-ending neck injury during his match with Rollins, bringing his legendary career to an abrupt halt. Despite the challenges of his WWE tenure, Sting's contributions to the industry were recognized when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2016. The induction was a long-overdue acknowledgement of his impact and influence on professional wrestling. Sting's legacy in professional wrestling is unparalleled. He is one of the few wrestlers to achieve success across multiple decades in promotions without compromising his character. While many of his contemporaries leaned heavily on promos or shock value, Sting captivated audiences through his presence and storytelling ability. His Crow persona remains one of wrestling's most iconic characters, often imitated but never duplicated. The image of Sting descending from the rafters with a baseball bat in hand is etched in the memories of fans worldwide. Sting's ability to connect with audiences, whether as a colorful hero or a dark avenger, underscores his versatility and timeless appeal. Sting also inspired a generation of wrestlers who followed in his footsteps. Stars like Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin, and Finn Balor have cited Sting as an influence on their own careers. This commitment to reinventing himself, while staying true to his core values, sets him apart as a truly iconic performer. Sting's career is a testament to passion, resilience, and the ability to evolve in an ever-changing industry. From his early days as a colorful, energetic superstar to his dark, enigmatic Crow persona, Sting consistently captivated audiences and redefined what it means to be a professional wrestler. His loyalty to WCW, his contributions to TNA, and his eventual arrival in WWE cemented his status as one of wrestling's most enduring figures. The icon Sting will forever be remembered not just as a wrestler but as a symbol of an era when larger-than-life characters, compelling storytelling, and unforgettable moments defined professional wrestling. Though his in-ring career has ended, Sting's legacy will continue to inspire future generations of wrestlers and fans alike. In the annals of professional wrestling history, there will always be only one Sting. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video.